good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here, yet once again alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada with yet another episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. This episode, we count down the top 10 matches from the month of September. Dale, what is good, my man?
Well, Todd, you know what? I think we had a pretty good list of 10 matches here.
I'd say. Not even near.
And I think a lot of that's going to go to the disappearance of CWC, which again, though, does make our top 10 matches. We have 2 from that. Then we have some Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground return. So we got a couple matches from them. We got Ring of Honor and WWE. So we kind of hit them all, which is a good thing. But yeah, we definitely are losing CWC. Which will kind of change, I think, who's going to end up being our top match of the month.
Yes.
As they have led the way for August, and they'll kind of lead the way here in September. But you'll just have to wait and see who we actually picked, what match that is that we picked as number 1. So let's go ahead and get it started here.
Yep, to reiterate what you just said, quite a diverse list we have here. So let's get it started. First match here coming from TNA Impact Wrestling. Let's talk about the Ultimate X Gauntlet match for the X Division title featuring Trevor Lee, DJZ, Rodstar Spud, Bratson Sutter, Andrew Everett, and Mandrews from Impact on Pop. So as we know, DJZ went over in this one. He wound up becoming the X Division title champion. This definitely, was a good move, I think, because DJZ is actually a good representative for the X Division TNA. It's kind of funny, though, I must point out that right now, in both the WWE and in TNA, both of their champions of their respective lightweight divisions are both of Filipino ancestry. And they kind of have somewhat similar gimmicks. TJ Perkins, he really said that he's trying to appeal to the younger generation today, and I feel that that also DJZ is trying to do the same in his own way. What's your feelings on that, Dale?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you a little bit. It also is just an interesting story with the change that we have seen with DJZ, and he's even brought it up himself. When he first arrived and he was known as Zema Ion, he was kind of the more cocky, arrogant character than he is now, and you definitely see a little bit more mature, fan-friendly, kind of with the hip-hop, the techno kind of gimmick that he's got going on. And definitely he has earned his spot to be back in the championship picture. So definitely glad to see there. And again, just look at the names in this match. Trevor Lee, DJZ, Rockstar, Spud, Braxton Sutter, Andrew Everett, Mandrews. We know what Trevor Lee, DJZ, Andrew Everett, and Mandrews can do. Those guys can absolutely fly.
Yes.
Braxton Sutter kind of a little bit of the outsider, if you would say, kind of to the Ultimate X style match. And Rockstar Spud, he can get in there and he can go.
Yes.
And definitely he has some interesting stuff, but definitely carried by Trevor Lee, Andrew Everett, DJZ, and Mandrews, and then obviously DJZ went over.
Interesting angle that they have going on between Bratson Sutter and Spud, including that empty arena match which they had. I guess because Rodstar Spud lost some teeth while involved in the match with Bratson Sutter, so it was kind of like, basically who was going to get the turnbuckle pad off the first and who was going to give who the curb stomp into the exposed turnbuckle. Yeah, that was an interesting match that became of those two there. Yeah, definitely featuring some of the top X Division title or X Division competitors in TNA. So yeah, moving on here, we're going to talk about Rey Mysterio, who took on Pentagon Dark, no longer Pentagon Jr. in Lucha Underground, from the Season 3 premiere. So you and I kind of both agree on this one, Dale, that Pentagon Dark has really kind of lost some momentum since he made the transition to the dark side from when he was Pentagon Jr. Rey Mysterio picks up the win in this one, definitely continuing some momentum in his career here. What's your feelings about this one, Dale?
It's kind of interesting because we know Rey Mysterio and Prince Puma had the match at Ultima Lucha, and we kind of were surprised at how that one turned out. And I'm kind of feeling the same way here. In Lucha Underground is very much giving the respect due to Rey Mysterio, but I also kind of thought Rey was just going to be kind of the older guy that comes in, the elder statesman, and helps put over some of the up-and-comers in the business to get them a name for themselves.
That's what we thought.
So it's like Lucha Underground is using Rey Mysterio. However, which way you want to think about it, it's like one way they're using his name and continuing to push forward with him, or they're kind of using him to kind of not succeed with some other younger talent. Depends on however you want to use it or view it.
Yeah.
But I definitely thought this match was good. Rey has definitely delivered in his time in Lucha Underground, and yeah, as we said, Pentagon. And now shifting over to Pentagon Dark, I still don't feel like he is very dark. He kind of still feels like he's looking for some wins, some big momentum. Yeah. Kind of almost feels a little bit. I'm not quite as off the trail, but Broken Matt Hardy to me hasn't really won much since becoming Broken Matt Hardy either. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, that's an interesting comparison that you made there. Yeah. They definitely need to try to figure out a way to get Pentagon Dart some wins and get him back on track here because, I'm not sure why exactly. I understand the whole storyline he had going on with Vampiro and whatnot, but it seems like that storyline has kind of been dropped all of a sudden too. So, I'm not exactly sure what direction Lucha Underground is going in, but whatever they wind up with, I'm quite sure it's going to be something definitely, unique. Moving on here, talking about something that's unique. We got the very bizarre Marty the Moth Martinez, who took on Killshot, and I believe this has got to be a first, Dale. Can you ever recall any company in the history of professional wrestling that has put on a weapons of mass destruction match? This was from episode 2 of season 3 of Lucha Underground. This one was just insane. Especially the one thing that sits out of my mind about this match is that final spot where Killshot jumped off the ladder and basically did almost kind of like a foot stomp spot where he put Marty the Moth through a table. What do you have to say about this one, Dale?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely thought this is the match of Lucha Underground Season 3 to this point.
Without question.
I just also thought the spot where Killshot put Mariposa through the table was ridiculous, and she took an outstanding bump. And then obviously the foot stomp through to Marty Moth through the table, just outstanding. Kind of set the bar too. I was like, and when you just think about another match that's kind of make our countdown, what you can get when you just put the TLC type of genre. It was like when you got the weapons and the ladders and everything. And and I know that we're going to touch on one that might have even topped this one, and this one was pretty incredible. But when you have the 6 names that were involved in the match that we'll get to in a minute, you can understand why that one was probably a little bit better.
Creative violence, man. I'm telling you. It just gives you more ways to destroy people. I'm telling you exactly what you said. If you have ladders, tables, chairs, stairs, whatever other things, that they can grab, from around the temple there. Yeah, I mean, Marty the Moth, he definitely showed a decent amount of color during that match too. Definitely sporting a crimson mask. Yeah, that definitely was one of the more memorable moments of season 3, and I'm quite sure there's going to be a lot more to come on the horizon for us with Lucha Underground. So let's jump on over to Ring of Honor. This was a pretty solid tag match that we saw, featuring the Briscoes taking on newcomer Jay White from New Japan, and also top prospect winner Lio Rush. This match was non-stop action. This guy Lio Rush is something else. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets on the WWE's radar. He's a very, very small guy. I'd say this guy is probably no more than maybe about, I'd say 5'7", 5'8". Definitely a flyweight. But I'd said in terms of style and whatnot, he's kind of comparable to someone like Kalisto in the WWE. The Briscoes, the vets, them boys got the win here over the newcomers. But Dale, what do you have to say about this one?
Yeah, it was another solid episode of Ring of Honor as a weekly TV show. Definitely, not really ultimately surprised that the Briscoes won, but we know that when it kind of comes to like the singles form for these guys, they seem like to be more, as we've said many times, the John Cena mold, kind of as the singles competitors. But when it comes to the tag team, and they're not the easy pickings, yet they're still whooping up on people, and obviously Jay White and Lio Rush still trying to make names for themselves. It was kind of a shame that Lio had to be pulled from the All-Star Extravaganza 8 match that he was in.
Yeah, indeed.
Because it would have been, but it was a good replacement, but just a shame that he couldn't participate in that. And obviously, big things to come from Jay White and Lio Rush, I think, going forward. And we all know what the Briscoes are about, and I'm just kind of interested to see if they will ever actually get a call from WWE. I know that they've had the opportunities. We'll see if it ever ends up panning out, but they might just be they might just be career Ring of Honor guys, which is not a bad thing. They absolutely deliver.
Yeah, it's a shame too, because there was actually something that came out a couple years ago, I guess, when they had that opportunity. Unfortunately, I want to say that it was Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe made some very derogatory remarks about homosexuals. And I guess WWE caught wind of this. He made some very derogatory remarks on Twitter, I believe. And he's since apologized for those remarks. But WWE right now, worse than it's ever been. They are very accepting of, anyone basically and their differences and whatnot. And they want everybody to feel welcome to try to come and compete for them. So I think that definitely caused them a shot at WWE. But, like they say never in the wrestling business. Time heals all wounds. So maybe there's a chance that the Briscoes will get the opportunity to compete in WWE. So moving on here to our next match. Bobby Fish took on Katsuya Shibata. Now, if you're not familiar with Katsuya Shibata, he has got to be one of the most lethal strikers in all of professional wrestling. If you have seen Kota Aboushi, just imagine Kota Aboushi if he was all business. No flash, no charisma, no high-flying moves, just all hard-hitting strikes. And probably one of the most deadliest headbutts that you'll ever see. I mean, this guy has delivered headbutts on people so snug that he actually bled himself. Okay? So this match was for the ROH TV title. Bobby Fish actually hung on, and he stepped out of this one victorious. Dale, what do you have to say about this one, man?
I know that these two also had a pretty good one when it comes to one of the Japan wrestling programs, when Bobby Fish challenged Shibata for his championship strap. And this was kind of the reverse, the American version of Shibata then challenging Bobby Fish for the ROH TV title. I know both men can absolutely go. We know if you've watched any length of Ring of Honor, you know what Bobby Fish can do. With his time with Kyle O'Reilly and Red Dragon, well-deserved time now as Ring of Honor television champion. He even went on this past weekend to take down Donovan Dijak, which obviously not surprised that Fish retained over Dijak, but I had to stick to my word and thought that Dijak was going to come in and be the ROH TV champion.
You had picked Dijak.
But yeah, definitely a good showing between one of Ring of Honor's top stars and obviously one of the top stars out of Japan.
Yes, definitely. Yet another ROH match here that we have on our top 10 matches from the month of September. Now, I must clarify that unfortunately Dale and I did not have the opportunity to actually view this match from All-Star Extravaganza 8, but this is the Ladder War 6, which featured The Addiction, the Young Bucks composed of Matt and Nick Jackson, and the Motor City Machine Guns. From what we have heard by all accounts, this match was absolutely insane. Now, I actually had the opportunity prior to this match because Dale tipped me off and said, if you Google some of the highlights or whatnot, you might come across just one particular spot where Nick Jackson, I want to say, took I think it was actually Frankie Kazarian and put him up in the tombstone position on a ladder. And then Matt Jackson jumped from off the turnbuckle and delivered the Meltzer driver, I guess you could say a super Meltzer driver, through a table. It just looked absolutely insane. I've got to go back and watch this whole entire show, All Star Extravaganza 8, but this match in particular. Dale, just any quick thoughts on this one here?
No, and I just after reading the reaction, just figured that we couldn't bypass this match with all of the reaction and all the acclaim and all of the top matches of the month recognition that this thing is getting from various sources that we check out on the weekly basis. So just figured we needed to throw it in there. Yeah, you were right. It was Kazarian that went through the table, but I think you were backwards on the Bucks, so me and you couldn't get straight on who was where. Because I know earlier when we were talking about it, I said it was Christopher Daniels, but you were right. It was Kaz, and then we're backwards on the Bucks, but it's all right. Still outstanding, ridiculously crazy match. Ladder War 6 is like Ring of Honor. They know when to utilize their ladder matches. It's very rare, as it is the 6th Ladder War, as they like to say. So they keep their specialized matches numbered, which I think is one thing the WWE has gotten away from, and that is part of why Hell in a Cell has lost a little bit of its luster. But that's different topic. But Hell
in a Cell lost a lot of its luster the moment that they actually gave it its own pay-per-view, whether it being like something that was a big blow-off to a feud. I actually went back and I was checking out that clip while you were giving your analysis, Dale. The thing that's crazy about it was when Nick went up there on the ladder, he easily could have grabbed those titles and ended the match for him and his brother, but they just had to rub some salt in the wound of the addiction by doing that crazy Super Meltzer driver to finish him off before they actually got their hands on the title. So
you were right. I forgot that. I was like, yeah, Nick jumped off of the ladder instead of off of the turnbuckle. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely have to go back and check that one out, but it definitely had to also make our list there. Moving to the WWE here. Now this one's interesting because there was not a clear-cut winner in this match. It actually came out as a draw. We're talking about the Swiss Superman Cesaro, who took on Sheamus. This was the blow-off match in their best of 7 series from the Clash of the Champions. Now, we both agreed that we absolutely hated the way that this very, very good feud, I could say, between these two ended, and that they're getting a championship opportunity. However, the championship opportunity is coming to them by way of a tag team title shot via Raw general manager Mick Foley, who basically said, hey, you two are some of the best I've ever seen. I don't want to see you guys beat the hell out of each other no more. I want you guys to combine forces to beat the hell out of other people. Dale, your take on this one here, man.
Well, yeah, you basically covered. We didn't like the ending. And I know that we had them listed in our matches of August. They didn't make the cut, so I really wanted to put them back up here again because I just absolutely thought that match 7 delivered. I kind of felt like the middle of the series faded away a little bit. Well, one of the matches we didn't even get on TV. Right. So I kind of felt like the middle matches in the series, they took a step backwards from where it started. Obviously, they had a great match that led in to the best of 7, and then a very strong start to it, and then a very good ending, except for the fact that it didn't actually have a winner win the best of 7. They got set up on a tag team, which I don't like, but I've also now discovered that Raw really doesn't have any tag teams.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, all the tag teams are over on SmackDown Live now. Yeah, so not really too much more to say about that one. Let's talk about another match from WWE's first ever SmackDown individual brand pay-per-view, Backlash. The world title match here for the WWE World Heavyweight title between AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. So AJ Styles actually came out on top on this one. He went over dirty. He delivered the low blow before hitting Dean with the Styles Clash. Definitely, the match delivered. I thought the show was a bit of a surprise, a pleasant surprise, and that it actually delivered and was a lot stronger than the Raw effort in Clash of the Champions. Dale, any further thoughts on this one?
No, I just felt like this was a great performance from Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. And I kind of think that AJ helped Dean kind of become what everybody was waiting for Dean to be in WWE. he's kind of been a little lackluster as a singles guy. Obviously, he's gotten the huge pushes, and he became the WWE World Champion. But I still felt like something was missing from him in terms of top caliber matches since he had broken off from the Shield.
Yes.
Definitely with the help of AJ Styles, got that over. AJ Styles is absolutely proving he is, without a shadow of a doubt, top 5 in the world, if not top 3, if not number 1.
Yeah. And like you said, we had this discussion before on the show. There's a difference between being a great wrestler and being a great worker. AJ Styles is he's phenomenal. Just like they say, he is a phenomenal worker. That guy, you could put him in the ring with just about anyone. He could pull a pretty solid match out of him. So, yeah, definitely in agreement there. AJ is definitely world title worthy and the first IWGP, WWE, and TNA wrestling heavyweight champion. First to ever do that. Little bit of action here from the CWC. We had Sabre Jr., who was one of the favorites to win the Cruiserweight Championship or the Cruiserweight Classic, taking on this guy. I want to say he's from Scotland, but he's of Israeli descent, I believe. Noam Dar. Dill, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Oh, I'm just gonna have to go with you. I can't remember.
Okay. This match actually delivered. Noam Dar actually showed that he can hang with one of the big dogs in Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. definitely has a very technical based, also submission based wrestling game. And this kid Noam Dar, yeah, he actually showed that he actually can hang with Zack Sabre Jr. Any thoughts on this one, Dale?
We were texting back and forth kind of as the semifinals and then the finals unfolded. We were feeling the direction that the winners were going to be perceived. This was a little bit beforehand, so obviously we felt like Zack Sabre was going to be there. He's the bigger name, even though Noam Dar right now does have the WWE contract, but that right there is part of the difference into why Zack Sabre didn't ultimately go on to win the CWC or Kota Ibushi, just because they didn't take on the full-time WWE contracts. Noam Dar, TJ Perkins, just among the few that did, and that's why they kind of advanced a little bit farther into this one. Sabre had to go over. He's just the bigger name, the more well-known. But Noam definitely had a good showing, and now he gets to go forward into the Raw Cruiserweight division and probably make some appearances on NXT, because that seems like what they're doing with the Cruiserweights there, too.
Yeah, definitely the strongest offering each week from the WWE, I would say, especially in the Raw brand, is the Cruiserweight matches that they're featuring. Yeah, they're rounding out that division nicely, too, for saying that they weren't able to sign the 2 premier athletes, which leads us to our top match from the month of September. Let's talk about TJ Perkins, who took on Kota Ibushi. This is from the semifinal from the Cruiserweight Classic. Now, you just stated the obvious. Kota Ibushi was not victorious in this one. TJ Perkins went on to win the match. He became the first Cruiserweight champion on the Raw brand. This match did deliver. I thought it was a very solid performance out of TJ Perkins. We know what Kota Ibushi can offer. He brings it every single time he steps in the ring. But yeah, this kid has came a long way. I remember him from when he was Manic over there in TNA. Yeah, he's really developed, and he's got the charisma. He's got the look. I think this guy's actually going to go far. He's very marketable. And, the WWE right now is looking more diverse than it ever has. If you look at especially the champions in NXT and what they have to offer over there in the Raw brand. So, what's next for TJ Perkins, you think, Dale?
Obviously, he's got to now establish himself, because even though we won the CWC, it feels like once on Raw, Vince kind of likes to have his little feelers on things and make them a little bit different than what the network was providing, because now he's on TV every day, so now he's got to become established to the mainstream audience as opposed to probably the wrestling audience that followed the CWC.
Yes.
Kota Ibushi, we have not seen the last of him. He's going to team up with Tommy, part of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and I'm expecting big things out of those two.
That's going to be a hell of a tag team right there. That's automatically my favorites. I don't even know really who else is even in the tournament besides them and Perfectly Glorious. Just had to throw that in there. But yeah, I'm really digging that tag team of Hideo Itami and Kota Ibushi. Well, as you all know, we could sit here and talk about wrestling all evening long. That's what Dale and I do. But unfortunately, we're going to wrap up this episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. This special edition was dedicated to the top matches from the month of September. Please visit our YouTube channel and subscribe to us. Also, we would like to hear from you. Leave us some feedback. What about the program did you enjoy? What did you not like? How can we improve? Also, make your way over to our Facebook page. Like us on Facebook. Also, visit us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. You can follow us there. Look out for my updates on LinkedIn, weekly, usually on Mondays. Feel free to share the links. Sharing is caring. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. For my tag team partner, Dale Clifford, out there in Fernley, Nevada, and for myself, Todd Smith, here in Bristol, Connecticut. Till next time around, y'all take care.